This Saturday in Ennis, music fans are in for something special as the Ennis Rock Grunge Fest takes over all in aid of Aoibheann's Pink Tie. It'll be a day packed with live rock and grunge, a mixture of original acts and tribute bands all coming together to support a cause that is extremely important. And I'm joined in studio now by three guests involved with one of the bands who'll be playing, the tribute band to Nirvana we just heard there with the lights out, and also involved with organising the festival, Ferdia O'Sullivan, Tony Milan and Ritchie Farrant. Lads, welcome to the studio.
Thanks a million, Alan. Thanks for having us.
Thanks to all of you for coming in. So Ferdia, you've been in before, parts with the lights out with the lads. This festival is the first time this has happened, and for a very, very good cause. So tell us a bit about how it's all come about.
Yeah, so this is the first iteration of the festival, Alan. So it's the Ennis Rock Grunge Fest 2026. So it's been run in aid of Aoibheann's Pink Tie Children's Cancer Charity. And we'll actually be joined later by Dee Featherstone, the fundraising manager, who will speak a bit more and tell us about the amazing work they do. So the festival itself is being organised on behalf of the Mead family, who are very close friends of ours. And they went through a journey with paediatric cancer in 2023, which involved a lot of time in the National Paediatric Oncology Centre in Dublin. So this event is our way of helping the Mead family give something back to a charity that supported them so much during that time.
Okay, and then Tony, in terms of putting the festival together, I mean, obviously your guys' band was always going to play since you helped organise it. But how did you go about getting the other tribute bands, but also the original bands involved? And I'm sure, given it was for a very good cause, it was very easy to persuade them all to appear.
Yeah, so I can tell you a bit about that. So we're going to have the doors to the back bar open around 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. And then the music's going to kick off around 4:15 p.m. and Big Toe band are going to get the day underway. Around 5 p.m. we're going to have Aoibheann and then Bit Crusher starting at 6 p.m. with Rua starting around 7 p.m. So that's like a great mix of local original music within the rock and grunge genre across the lineup. And those bands would be familiar to people who've been out and about in Ennis over the last couple of years. They're fairly well-known or local original bands. From there, then we get into the tributes. So we have Weezer, the Weezer tribute starting at 8 p.m, followed by Fpcus Ragin and their sensational tribute to Rage Against the Machine starting around...
one of the better tribute band names.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But they start around 9 p.m. And then at 10 p.m, ourselves will be starting. So we're with the lights out. And we'll be taking the stage with our tribute to Nirvana, packed full of all the classics, including the one that was playing just before we started speaking. And then to finish off the night, our headliners are the Chop Sueys at 11 p.m. So they're Ireland's most renowned tribute to System of a Down. They're fantastic. They're known for putting on a seriously high energy show. Great way to close the night out. So you definitely do not want to miss any of that. And then just after that, around 12:15 a.m, so just after midnight, after the Chop Sueys have finished, we'll be carrying out the raffle and announcing the winners. And there's a lot of prizes. So that should be a good evening.
Okay, plenty happening. And I just wonder as well, Richard, with the music, what these, the bands from the kind of grunge, and I was going to say rock here, rock is going long, but like the early 90s into even the late 90s, kind of pre-new metal and System of a Down, why they've kind of endured. What do you think it is? Is it just that the songs are great? Is a certain generation of people of maybe our vintage who grew up in those bands, or what?
I think there's a bit of that, and also just like there's so many iconic hits that those bands have come out with, and like the musicality of some of those tunes. Like there was a great diversity across all the different bands from that era. Even within the grunge scene itself, like the difference between Alice in Chains and Nirvana is massive.
The big four, all very different sound.
There's like a shared DNA across all of it, like in wanting to create something a bit alternative and not so mainstream. And I think that carried through into more recent bands like Rage Against the Machine and System of a Down as well. So I think that's kind of why they endure. Like you hear a song like that from back in the day, and it gives you that taste for that music, and then once you dive a bit deeper, you find out that that's just like the tip of the iceberg, and there's so much to discover. And then having a tribute to that is a fantastic thing, to share that music with others and the new generation. Yeah,
and I suppose and maybe another appeal is that some of these bands, there are bands from yesteryear who are still performing and still touring. Some of these bands, obviously you're a tribute to Nirvana. They can't tour anymore for obvious reasons. System of a Down don't tour because they just can't get on with each other or can't agree politically. Weezer are still knocking about. Rage Against the Machine tour intermittently. So out of those four, there's little opportunity for fans of those bands to actually see them, and you guys are helping to really fill that space. And we've had you in before performing. You do it really well.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah, thanks for saying that.
Appreciate that.
It's just the genre of music that we really enjoy. We've always have since we were younger, and to make it happen on a small scale here in Ennis is great. And on that, then we try and provide these events totally non-profit. So, in particular, this event, all profits raised will be going straight to the Aoibheann's Pink Tie charity. We actually have a raffle being carried out on the day, which is just €3 for one ticket, €10 for 5, which will increase your chances of winning. And the prizes we've been really lucky to get support from other organisations. So we have some fantastic prizes, the likes of 2 guitars, 1 electric, 1 acoustic. We have restaurant vouchers, we have a signed Wolf Tones Camogie jersey, and we have a bottle of triple distilled Jameson, which we're hoping to win ourselves. So
Is it going to be like Father Ted, the draw for the car? You're going to be
number 11.
Number 11, you're holding it upside down.
Yeah, so it's a great way for people to get involved and have a bit of fun on the night, and we'll have a bit of fun with the raffle at the end as well. We'll be picking out 7 names, and hopefully the winners will be going away with their prizes on the night. So the tickets can be purchased via cash or tap your card at the merch stall on the day. And we also have t-shirts as well if Tony wants to.
Yeah, so incidentally with the 3 of us, you'll see we're wearing them today.
And they look very snazzy, I might say.
I got to say, they look pretty good. So yeah, we've chosen to go with a front and back print to mark the occasion. All bands performing are featured on the back, and on the front we have our co-sponsor Lucas's Bar, along with our chosen charity, which of course is Aoibheann's Pink Tie. T-shirts can be purchased for €20 on the day from the merch stall in Lucas's. We have a limited quantity in varied sizes. So that's after pre-sale, so get in early if you want to ensure that you can grab one.
Brilliant stuff. Well, look, it should be a great occasion for a brilliant charity as well. Hopefully raise loads of money, and hopefully with the lights out win that bottle of whiskey, and I'm sure it'll be all above board as well. So my thanks to Ferdia, Tony and Ritchie from With the Lights Out. Head along to the Ennis Rock and Grunge Festival happening this Saturday. Lads, thanks very much for joining me in studio this morning.